Hello students! In this video, I'm going to be talking about initial capitalization and how you can incorporate your JA South Alberta company. Before I delve into that, I'm going to start by elaborating on this concept as a whole. What you're going to be doing is setting your company up as a corporation. Now, I'm sure you've probably heard this term a bunch, but do you actually know what it means for a company to be a corporation? Well, there's a bunch of things that go into the definition of a corporation, but a major one is ownership. Here's a quick fun fact for you. One of my favorite pizza places is called Wasim's Amazing Pizza. I love going here. It's my favorite place to go in the city. Let me ask you a quick question now. Who do you think owns Wasim's Amazing Pizza? If you answered somebody named Wasim, there's a good chance you're right. Okay, I'm going to follow up with another question. Who would you say owns Apple? Or maybe Tesla? Who do you think owns Microsoft? The answer doesn't boil down just to one person as it conveniently did for Wasim's Pizza Place. Matter of fact, for these large companies, because they're corporations, they're owned by many different people, hundreds, if not thousands of them. People share the ownership of these corporations. Everybody has a little small slice of them. This is exactly how your company will be owned as well. We're going to have a bunch of different shareholders that are going to share the ownership of it and each own a little slice of your company. Okay, so let's come back down to earth for a second. In the company program at this point, you have your product or service idea and you've got a good plan on executing it. So let's make it happen. If you've completed the break-even analysis, you know what specific things you need in order to get the ball rolling on your company. Now we want to raise that cash so we can buy the things we need to open the doors of our business. We're going to get this cash by selling some ownership in our company. In the business world, the people who buy a share of a company are referred to as investors. And in the company program, the investors of the companies are the students themselves. There are two types of shares that we're going to be dealing with in this program: common shares and preferred shares. Students and mentors have the ability to buy common shares. This type of share means that you're actively participating and making decisions within the company. If you sell a share outside of your company members, then that person would get a preferred share. This person is still entitled to a stake of ownership within the company. However, they're not at all involved in making the decisions or running the operations. Let's stay on that last point for a second. Remember, your company is a corporation, just like Apple or just like Tesla. That means you have a lot of part owners, a lot of different shareholders who invested in a sliver of your company. That little piece is theirs no matter how much the company is worth. You all invested in your company when it was worth nothing, which means you're going to be entitled to the same percentage of ownership even if it's worth a lot more in the future. So if you work really hard in the company program and you grow your actual business and you make a lot of sales and you keep your costs low, your company's value will be higher, meaning your stake of ownership will be worth more. In other words, when you liquidate your company or wrap up your business, your share money will come back to you and a little bit of extra. Like I said before, doing the break-even analysis will show you exactly how much money you need to raise during initial capitalization. It's important that you keep that perfect balance. You don't want to sell too many shares or too little shares. If you sell too many shares, that means a smaller return of investment for every single shareholder. AKA the pie is cut into more pieces, so everybody will get a smaller piece in the end. You also don't want to sell too few shares because then you won't have enough money to buy everything that you need to get the business running. Again, figuring out that initial value of money needed to start the company is what we should strive for. Once we have that value, we know how many shares we need to sell and at what price. In the company program, there's a few guidelines that we have to follow during the initial capitalization process. The first one is that the maximum amount of capital a company can raise is $500. This is just to keep the game fair for everybody playing. In a similar fashion, the maximum price that a single share can cost is $20. This applies to both common and preferred shares. To keep things simple for everybody involved, prices also have to be consistent amongst all shares. This means that if you sold a share for $10, every single share has to be sold for $10. Finally, This is a great opportunity for all of you to learn about the effects of investing your money. So, every student participating in the program has to purchase a share in their company. That being said though, I know that there's sometimes factors that we aren't aware about. If you feel like you cannot purchase a share in your company, please privately speak with your mentors or reach out to me directly and we can figure out an alternative system for you. And that's the initial capitalization process. There's a few more small steps towards the end of this, which are covered in the separate resources that I'll be emailing out to everybody. Once you've done all this work and have submitted your incorporation request, you have created your own corporation. That's a big step. Congratulations. This step is arguably the most exciting one because now you actually have a business, you have a product, everything is finally set into place. So now you can go out there, sell your product or service, and make that impact in the world that we all seek to do. Thank you for watching this tutorial, students. Please reach out to your mentors, speak with your peers, or contact me directly if you have any questions on this whole process.